everybody, welcome back. Before we jump into the video, just a quick reminder to subscribe to my channel and like the video if you like, because apparently that really helps out my channel a lot.
I'd appreciate it.
Also, I quickly wanted to let you guys know that I always include timestamps in the description, so feel free to just jump ahead to whatever part of the video you're most interested in. But do make sure to stick around until the end, because first off, I already cut out all the boring stuff, and also I always include a full cinematic tour at the end of each video, so definitely stick around until the end if you want to see the whole build in action. Alrighty, that's it. Let's jump into the video. Okay, so today we're building Tiana's palace, and this is another Disney build, and this is from The Princess and the Frog, and it's the restaurant of the Disney princess Tiana. So if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it. It's like a super cool story set in New Orleans. It's very like jazzy and very like the music is absolutely wonderful. It's very brassy, you know, big band and that kind of stuff. I absolutely love that. And it's just a super fun movie. Like, it's not my favorite Disney movie of all time, and I think I've only seen it once so far, but I really do love it, and I should actually watch it again now that I think of it. Anyway, so in case you are interested in seeing like Disney builds and that kind of stuff, definitely check out some of my other Disney videos. So I'll insert a playlist right here so you can go and check that out, obviously after you're done watching this video. But that playlist just holds all my Disney builds, so if you're a Disney fan, definitely make sure to check that out. Okay, so this is obviously a community build, and it's one of the few community builds that I've done on my channel so far. And it is, I don't actually know why. It's really fun to build community builds because I don't know, it's just, you don't have to think of, including bedroom and bathroom and kitchen and living room and office and that kind of stuff. It's just like, you just have this one style of build basically, and then I don't know, you can kind of go a little more like crazy and be a little more creative in my opinion. So yeah, I really don't know why I don't do that more often, but I had so much fun building this. Like, this is such a cool build, and it's it's kind of like bougie and a little bit like luxurious, but it's also very like cool, and it has this New Orleans kind of style. And so the color scheme of the movie is kind of green, she's always wearing green and like this pale kind of green. I don't know what you call that. It's not really sage, it's just a very pale kind of green, and it's gorgeous. And that's also like kind of the color scheme of the interior of the restaurant. You will see that in a second. And yeah, the exterior is very bougie, I think. So I'm just trying to create these towers right now, and in the movie they have these like crowns on top. So there's like crowns sitting on top, and there's lighting everywhere, on top of each like little kind of spike of the crown. There's like lights on there, and I'm trying to recreate that, and I think I'm not showing you the whole footage. I kind of forgot to film for whatever reason. Anyway, I did try to make that work with using chairs. I actually used, you can see that now, I actually used these cats and dogs chairs, and I just placed a bunch of them, I don't know, maybe like 8 or so, and well, just kind of place them in a circle, and then just use tool mod to kind of rotate them outwards so that the lean of the chair kind of resembles the shape of the crown, if that makes sense. So I think it turned out pretty cool. Like, I couldn't really find anything really that looks like the shape of this crown, so I think this works pretty well, to be honest. I was pretty happy with how that turned out, and I will change up the color later on. We have this brownish kind of light brown kind of color, and that looks a little bit more like it could be gold, so that's why I changed that later. Yeah, and honestly, like, this build isn't really like shape-wise, it's not really that like interesting. It's very like square, or like rectangular, but it has like all these details, and there's so much light there, and the red, mixed in with the white and the gold. It's just, like I said, it's just so luxurious, and then you have like the green in the what's it called? The umbrellas, and it's just gorgeous. I just absolutely love it. Now, I did place this in the world that came with my wedding stories. I forget what it's called, like Tartosa or something. I don't know. Anyway, I did place it in that world because, well, like I said, like the movie is set in New Orleans, so it's actually very like city-like, you know, there's like a lot going on. It's like in the middle of the city, but behind the restaurant there's water. I assume it's the ocean. So that's why I placed this here, because we have this big lot. It's I think 50 by 40 lot, and like right behind that there's like this big ocean. And I did initially plan on building this in Brindleton Bay, but we do have a lot like that as well, which kind of works a little bit better in terms of it being more like in a city-like environment. However, the shape of the lot is, well, it's wide and not long, you know, if that makes sense. Like, you know, some of the lots are kind of meant to have houses that are kind of, you know, more wider, and others are for more narrow, longer houses. And the lot in Brindleton Bay is definitely for more wider houses, and this definitely is a longer build. And I didn't want, you know, it kind of looks odd, especially in the gallery pictures, because it's just, you know, you have the picture will just show the side of the house, you know. So anyway, I'm rambling, but it doesn't matter. So I did place this in the My Wedding Stories world that we have, which is, by the way, it's absolutely beautiful. I've never built in this world before, and I think it's because of the season. You know, we have, I don't know when we got the pack, but I think when I bought it, it was already like autumn leaning into winter. And I don't know, I never really felt the vibes of building in this world because it's so sunny and beachy, and I don't know, just like very holiday type, like vacation type world. So I never built there, and it's so beautiful, like the lighting, everything. It's such a gorgeous world. Actually, this world makes me want to play the game, you know, play the whole wedding thing. And that never happens. Like I never have like I never really want to play the game, you know. It's just like I always just want to build, and I don't know, I never really like feel the urge to really play the game, you know. But I don't know, this world is just gorgeous, it's beautiful, and I really want to like try and find the time to actually do some gameplay in the near future. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, so I think this build, like in terms of exterior, turned out pretty true to the original. I did not find like many pictures. I didn't find any pictures really of the back of the build. I only found, I think the only one that I found was actually from some Disneyland somewhere. I think it might be Disneyland Paris, I don't know. But there was like some picture, it was like a drawing. And so it kind of said like coming soon. I don't even know if they have the restaurant there yet, or anywhere, I don't know. Anyway, I did find this picture, and it kind of, you know, it made me think like, okay, that kind of looks like it could be the back of the build. So I did take that for inspiration for just the back side of the build. And it's actually very cute. And one thing I will say, this is a massive restaurant. It's huge. Like I think you need in-game, in order for this to be like a functional restaurant, I think you need to have, is it 4 or 6 tables? You know, like seating possibilities. I think either 4 or 6. And this one, I think, has like 200. And that's like crazy. When I saw that, I was like, what? How did that happen? I think it's probably chairs, because I did include some chairs that aren't really functional. You know, I stacked some chairs on top of each other just to like make it seem like there's like extra chairs sitting somewhere. And there's also like some chairs for the staff, you know, here and there. So I don't know where this number, exactly where this comes from, but that's absolutely like insane. And you will never ever have your Sims fill the whole restaurant. Like you can see now there's like so much seating outside as well. So there's seating on the left side outside, and on the ground floor and on the first floor there's like a little balcony there. And then, oh no, that's on the right side. You have seating on the ground floor and then on the balcony up top. And at the back side, there's seating outside as well. So there's like tables downstairs and also on the upper floor. So there's a lot of tables there. And then you have the inside, you know, there's like a bunch of tables there on the ground floor, and there's also these balconies right and left, so there's seating there as well. It's absolutely insane, like but it is like that. Like, I did see pictures from that definitely showed the inside pretty well, and then also like the sides of the build where you can definitely see that there's like seating there. And so I just tried to like make it, you know, as close to the original as possible, as I always do, you know. So, and also like 3 packs came in very handy for this build. The first one being my wedding stories, because I don't know, there's so many items, I can't even like think of one now, but there's like so many items that really look like they just work well with this kind of style of build. And then also get famous, because we have these like doors and windows with the you know, the glass doors with the detailing, and it just works absolutely wonderful. And they have because there's a lot of like brassy kind of gold and like bronze kind of tones, you know, in the interior as well. So I definitely use those a lot. And also my high school years pack. And that's because I think the style of the interior especially is a little bit like Art Deco, I think. Like, I'm not an expert in architectural styles by any means, but I feel like there's like some bits that do look a little bit like Art Deco, to me anyway. So, and the high school packs definitely has like these Art Deco kind of style furniture for sure. So, yeah, I'm super happy that I got to use all that, because I love it. And it usually, like for my builds, it doesn't really work well, because I tend to build a lot of like cottagey style builds, you know, so for the most part it doesn't really work well, but in this case it was just absolutely perfect. So so yeah, now you can just see me working on the back of the build, and that's where I had like the picture that I think is like artwork for some sort of Disneyland or like a promo picture or something. I try to remember to insert that right here, so don't hate me if I forget, but I'll try to remember. And yeah, like, by the way, I always playtest my builds, you know, so, because, you know, I always include the cinematic tour at the end of the video. Don't forget to stick around to see that. So I have to kind of playtest because, I mean, I would playtest anyway, but I do that because I do film the cinematic shots, and if I don't, you know, it is kind of playtesting and filming at the same time, because I will want to have, like, the Sims actually, like, having like doing stuff, you know, so it is automatically playtesting. And for this build, it is just I posted a story on my Instagram I think yesterday, and it's just like an absolute pain. Like, it takes me so much longer to do the like filming the cinematic shots for community lots or for community builds, because it's just, you know, there's like, because, you know, it's so hard, especially if it's like a big restaurant like that, to make, because I wanted it to look like, you know, there's like a lot of action going on, and there's like a lot of people, and they're all having fun, and it's all like, you know, there's like music and everything's just like, you know, everybody's just having a great time. But it is so hard because, you know, you can only have like so many Sims in like your household. So I already always have like 8 Sims in this case. In those cases, I always have 8 Sims in my household, which is as much as you can get. But then, you know, as a restaurant, there's only going to be like so many customers. It's not going to be like so many. So it's only going to be like a few, maybe, I don't know, maybe like 5, you know, at the same time. And that's not a lot, you know. And also, like, the Sims place them in kind of random places. A lot of them were like placed outside, and then you have like one couple sitting outside, another couple sitting inside at the back, and it's just the whole thing, you know. And it never really looked like there's like a party going on, or it's like a lot of action. And well, that's kind of just what I was going for, and just it didn't really work. So it was a bit of a pain. I have to admit that. So in the end, I think what I did was to, I actually placed this as a residential lot and had my family move in there. And then I had them like throw a party. I think I had them throw a dinner party. So I had like my 8 Sims of the household, and then they invited like a bunch of, I don't know, maybe 10 friends or something. So there was like 18 Sims there, and then we had like a comedian and a pianist and mixologist. Is that what you call it? You know, the one that is working at the bar, and a chef and that kind of stuff, you know. So there were a bunch of people then, but still, like in this case, for such a huge build, it kind of looks, you know, everybody just looks so lost. So I always try to make them like sit in one spot, you know, so that it kind of looks like there's a lot of people there. So I hope it works. Let me know what you think. Actually, if you watch the cinematic shots, let me know if you feel like it does look like they're having a good time, because I, you know, at some point I was just like, oh, just like, you know, just leave it, because, you know, you can spend like, I don't know, hours for just like filming the cinematic shots, which I do, but that's not the point. Anyway, so we're on the interior now, and it was so fun to build this because there's this big stage at the back, and I used this arch from Get Famous, and I did actually search for that arch in debug, but it's not debug. It's in the main, like, I don't know, it's probably with the statues, I think, you know, in the decorations. So I used that. I sized it up, I think, once. It is already pretty big. And then it does stick out at the top a little bit, so I did use tool mod to just lower it down. But I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. It works perfectly. It has like this arched kind of shape, and the fences that I used, I think they are from Realm of Magic. Yes, I'm pretty sure they are. And I used the pillars from Get Famous in this bronzy kind of tone, and it's absolutely perfect because that's kind of exactly what the color scheme is like in the actual restaurant. They have the gold mixed in with the bronzy tones, and it's just beautiful. I absolutely love it. And I did try and include this ceiling detail. So I'm sorry if this is gonna be like a bit like tiring to watch, because I had to like flip the camera around quite a bit, and this is like sped up footage, so it might be a bit like not as comfortable to watch. I'm sorry about that, but I did want to include it because it is like a big feature of the build. And again, you will see in the cinematic tour in the end, you will see like I did film it quite a bit and try to show you like what it actually looks like. And I think it turned out beautifully. I think this is like such a main like feature of this interior, like the main interior like dining hall. And so I had to include that because well, you can just see in all the pictures that I found of the interior, you can just see the ceiling detail. It is actually a little bit more arched than I, you know, made it here. But I thought, you know, it's not really possible to do that, at least not, you know, without a lot of trouble. So I didn't really know how. So I just, you know, it is a little bit arched, but it could have been more. But still, I think it's absolutely wonderful, and I'm pretty proud of myself for like making that happen. And I did again use the wall detail, the wall decor from My Wedding Stories. That's what I used. It does have a dragon. I think it's probably supposed to be for like Asian style or Eastern style kind of weddings. But you know, you don't really see it. I mean, a dragon doesn't really make sense in this kind of environment, but I felt like, you know, you don't really see it. It doesn't really matter. So, and the colors and the shape, like it has like this round kind of detailing, that just worked absolutely perfect. So, I definitely was a no-brainer. I had to use this. And, yeah, now we're working on the restaurant kind of part of the whole thing. And I used the tables from, God, I think they might be base game. They are just these dining tables that have the what's that called? Is it just like a tablecloth? I don't know what you call that. But, so that's green. It has the perfect shade of green. And then I used the chairs from Cottage Living. the ones that have like this arched, no, not arched, the round back, and they look pretty spot on as well. So yeah, and I did use a lot of lamps from Journey to Batuu, and I did also use the bars from Journey to Batuu, the curved ones, because they just match this environment so well. Like, I know a lot of people hate Journey to Batuu, and I hear ya, I know why. I get it, but I mean, I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I can't really hate it, you know, I can't. And the items that we have, a lot of the items are just absolutely gorgeous, especially the lamps and the bar and the rocks that we have in debug. They are absolutely amazing. So I would still recommend you buy it if you are a builder, because, you know, it's just worth it for that alone, in my opinion. But yeah, I did use a lot of those, and then I made this big chandelier. I used a chandelier from Realm of Magic, and I actually rotated it 180 degrees so that it's actually upside down. And I sized it up, I think once, or just with tool, I don't know. And I duplicated it and rotated it, I think 45 degrees, so that it's actually 2 in 1. And then I also used the chandelier that came with high school years and stacked that like inside. And so it just makes this whole like interesting kind of big chandelier. And I made it look like as if it's hanging from, because we have the glass roof detail. And so I included just a wooden board that we have in debug, and made it look like the chandelier is kind of hanging off that like glass kind of detail, just with on a wooden kind of beam, you know. So I think that's pretty cool, turned out pretty cool, and I think that's what it's supposed to be in the original as well. So that's what I did. Yeah, and obviously I did try to make this like a functional restaurant, you know, for the gameplay part. And well, I think it did work. However, well, you know, it's just a thing with the Sims that I don't know, like you have this plan when you're building, you know, you have this plan of, well, I included like, I think 4 sinks in the kitchen, and I have like 3 stoves there, and I have like 5 or 6 bathrooms, and you know, you have like all your areas for the staff, and they will just not use it. You know, they will just not. They will go for cleaning, like, you know, for washing the dishes, and also I included like 2 dishwashers in the kitchen, but they will go into just one of the bathrooms to clean the dishes, and that's just like, and they will use the one upstairs, so they will just, you know, they have to go upstairs to clean the dishes, and it takes forever. And it's just like, why, you know, why do it doesn't make any sense. It's just so frustrating, you know. You put all this thought in your build, and then they just don't use it, you know. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm showing you one of the bathrooms. I think it is 5 bathrooms. They all kind of look the same. They're just very bougie again, and quite simple though. So I thought I'd just show you one. And this is kind of the entrance area. And I think like in the original, I'm pretty sure there's no such thing. You just walk into the restaurant, and you just walk straight into the main hall, basically, you know. So but in the Sims, we have to include like the front desk kind of thing, and like the host desk, and then also you have to include the waiter station. And I didn't really want to just put those like somewhere to the side, because, you know, that's kind of the first thing that your Sims will do if they enter the restaurant, is go to the host station and then just request a table. And so I did kind of want to make this a little bit like cool and interesting, and make an impact, you know, if you walk into the restaurant. And so I made this little thing, and I think it turned out pretty cool. Like, I didn't have any reference for that. I just made that like from scratch. And I think it works pretty well though. Like, and I also think it makes sense to, well, I mean, it's not very realistic. You don't really have that in real life. But I find, you know, in such a big restaurant, it kind of makes sense to have like a little bit of a privacy kind of thing. You know, if you walk in and then you're just directly in like the main dining hall. I don't know, I think it makes sense to have like some sort of separation there. I think it wouldn't be like that in real life, but I still think it makes sense. And well, I mean, I think it turned out pretty cute. So anyway, and this is like the waiter station, and I also just included some pillars there, and just tried to make it look like a little more like cute and not just like place the waiter station and then that's it. And yeah, I did make this sign, and I think the sign that I used came with high school years as well. And obviously the sign in the original, it says TIANA'S Palace, and it is green. I'm pretty sure the sign is green. On the outside, I used the same sign as this, just in red, so we don't really have anything green. And I mean, obviously it doesn't say TIANA'S Palace. I could have like made something from scratch just like by using some sort of wall decor and just like writing that. But I don't know, like I think the sign works pretty well. It looks good. We have it in several colors, and I used it like in several colors in several like places of the build. So I found like it works well. So that's what I used. And this is the kitchen. And this is, well, I mean, it's not very interesting. It's just I tried to make this look like a actual, what do you call that? Like a restaurant kitchen. You know, it's not gonna be like a pretty kitchen. It's gonna be like functional, and all the like surfaces is probably gonna be like metal kind of thing, and everywhere is gonna be tile, just, you know, because it has to be easy to clean and that kind of stuff. And so yeah, I mean, I did try to still like make this look cute like somehow, but for the most part it's just supposed to be functional. And I don't actually know why. Like as you can see, like I include the dishwashers, I include like the sinks, I include like so many things. And you can have two chefs working here because we have two chef stations, and that works fine. But I don't know why the waiters don't use this, well, the dishwasher and that kind of stuff. I don't know why. Is it like, if you know, let me know in the comments. Is it like a thing? Do they not like go into the kitchen? Do they not use the stuff in the kitchen? I don't know. I didn't play like the restaurant thing that much, so I really don't know if that's like a thing. But then I don't really know, would you have to include another like separate room for the waiting staff, for the waiters to like do the dishes and that kind of stuff? I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me, you know. Also, they have the waiter station where technically they can just like put the dirty dishes there, you know, but they just don't always do that. I don't know. It's just the thing with The Sims, you know, they do kind of random stuff and you never really know why. So yeah, I did my best. I tried to make this as functional as possible, but what can you do? So yeah, I just included like a little bit of decor there. And so this is the bar area, and this is on the first floor, and it's at the front of the build actually. And so I think this is absolutely gorgeous. So as I said, I used the bar from Journey to Batu, and then the chairs from high school years, I think, again, like the beautiful green swatch. And then I will include the grand piano from my wedding stories, and just like some seating, and that's pretty much it. And I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And I think it did make sense to, again, I didn't have reference for this either, but I think it did make sense to kind of, you know, include like some sort of bar area as well, you know, because well, in such a big place, in such a big restaurant, it does make sense to have like some sort of space like that for people. Maybe if you have to wait for a table, or you know, if you just want to like hang out, maybe not have like a big meal, but maybe just have a couple of drinks. I'm not much of a restaurant kind of girl. I haven't been like to that many restaurants in my life, to be honest, but I think that's kind of what it would work like with like big restaurants like that. I think so. So that's why I included that. And one thing I just absolutely love about this restaurant are the plants. And so it does look very like lush and like jungly almost, and I think that's just so lovely. I absolutely love that. And I used mainly the jungle adventure plants and also the one that came with the courtyard oasis kit. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I think those were the ones that I used, like palms and like banana plants and that kind of stuff. And yeah, so this is the stage, and I'm just placing like a bunch of instruments, obviously, and like microphones. I thought, you know, it makes sense to kind of make this look like there could be like a bunch of background singers. In the movie, you would have like a lot of like brassy instruments, which we just don't have in game, so that didn't work. But anyway, so I think that's already it. We're going towards the end of the build, and thank you guys so much for watching. I very much hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, again, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and also like the video. That really does help out my channel a lot. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the cinematic shots in the end, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hey there, it's me again. Do you miss me? Just wanted to pop in to let you guys know, if you do like Disney builds and community builds, here's another one that I did a while ago, and that's Tony's Restaurant from The Lady and the Tramp. So I'll just leave that here for you guys. So if you do like Disney builds, make sure to check that out as well. And if you want to check out even more Disney builds, I do have a full Disney playlist, and I will leave that in the description so you can check that out as well. Okay guys, that's it. I promise I'm not gonna come back. Thanks for watching. Bye!